Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening, family. How you going? Hopefully we're out on all channels. We'll just see how we go. But yeah, I just know, looking at stuff, guys, just keep trying to share the show out for us. Share out the website, because we are under a little bit of attack at the moment, censorship-wise. To be expected, guys. All right, with what's going on at the moment, this is an absolute clown show. You know, the Kamala's, you know, now in the running and this, that, and the other, and people are, well, she can't be because she's, you know, she's this, she's that. Don't forget, guys, we're dealing with two things here, right? We got what you would call the corporation, where they can do anything they want, all right, because it's a false corporation that's still out on the front, all right? You know, we've still got that. The Alliance has got that out in the forefront. All right, but behind the scenes is the place where she can't, or nobody can rule except the CIC, right, which is the Republic. So just remember, when all this crap's going down there, diversion, distraction, who's going to be who in the zoo, this, that, and the other. At this present time, guys, it could be anyone. Sit back and wait. All right, don't get caught up in it. Just wait, you know, look at it, yeah, but don't get all like, you know, no. All right, because anything can be pulled here. We've seen what's going on. We've seen that the movie's really starting to unplay. You know, if you listen to the people like Benjamin Fulford and a few others, catch a few of their, you know, roundups and stuff like that, guys, you'll understand that this is really going our way. All right, that doesn't mean that we're not in a war and we haven't got some rocky times coming up, because I told you we have. Okay, and we may have a few of them on the show tonight. If not, we'll get into a few tomorrow night. I don't know what we've got on here, but there are things going on out there. So let's have a quick look, as Dan would say. That's our Dan, guys. All right. Dan Vincent. Let's have a look what's on the intranet. So, scientists warn a simple everyday habit increases dementia risk. All right. Now, I'm not even going to go into the article, guys. I'm just going to give the answer here. You know, you habit to increase dementia risk, obey the government. Simple as that. That'll get you dementia. Now we got food access to 20 major companies across 30 different indicators, from deforestation and pollution to transparency and governance. Guys, what they're doing is they're coming at the natural food places and saying that you guys don't look after this, and you've land clearing 2 million hectares of Queensland forest destroyed in 5 years, and new analysis shows. A load of crap, guys. The only forest getting destroyed, right, are by the government under order. This is just how they flip everything around for these people. This is what the normal people are reading. You know, that, these horrible people are out there doing this and doing that, Nah, it's not like that. Everything these guys do is reverse, guys, all right? Now, private jets again, guys, all right? Now, it hasn't come out yet, but the Queensland LNP is accusing Labor of wasting taxpayers' dollars on private jets during a crime policy tour in April. All right, so there was 2 planes taken to be able to get the people there, 2 private planes, and the exact cost to rent the 2 jets have not yet been revealed. So, again, guys, you know what I mean? Private jets. Can't you just get on a commercial jet and head to your destination? What? You're scared of the public? Well, it's probably about all you'd be scared of, getting on a public commercial flight, wouldn't it? Getting ridiculed, getting harassed, for selling out the Australian people to the New World Order and getting paid for it, because this is all you guys do. So, again, I can see why you'd be taking private planes, but I don't see why, you really should be. All right. Warning of a super cold striking Australia, guys, right? And it's not COVID. Okay, look out. All right, so a super cold now. All right, nothing else has worked. All right, they've caught up to the bird flu, so now it's a super cold. But don't worry, don't stress. They'll have a vaccine coming out for it really, really soon. That one we're not into. Right, the homeless people in Queensland have been told to move on for the Queensland show. I do have a clip in there, I think, that comes from Queensland about the homeless tonight, guys, but this is just what they're doing. Cleaning up the streets because the Queensland show's on, telling people to move along, while they're eating their, as we said, their Wagyu steaks. Apparently, we can't see it on, which one do we use, Mel? We get Willy Weather. All right, but yeah, apparently, we're supposed to get damaging winds on Thursday, guys. Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, that's across all New South Wales once again, gusty, horrible winds.
That's mainstream media.
That's mainstream media, guys. So let's see how they go, because I don't think that's going to get delivered. And I think they're telling you crap again, because you forget about it. All they want the people to do is understand that climate change is giving them a hard time. So I have got an article here. We won't go into it yet, guys, but it's just people, they tracked down the owners of empty Sydney homes and tried to find out, why they've been left vacant. And I mean, I'm talking like $1 million mansions in Vaucluse and different things around, Annandale, 5 Dock, I think, was in there, Petersham, just different places where, and we've got 400 and something thousand, right, homes in New South Wales, I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, it could be Australia. I think New South Wales, that are just vacant. It's just insane, you know what I mean? Like, and anyway, a lot of them are publicly owned housing as well. Anyway, listen, guys, we're going to bring a special guest on. Cazz is going to come in first, and then I'll give this special guest a bit of a wrap in, so you can hold her in the studio, Cazz. But come on in, darling. How you going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, so we've seen, guys, a little bit of turmoil in the Australian freedom movement of late. When some truths have come to the table. And some things have been put out there. But what we have seen, because what I want to show you is everyone's, jumping up and down about this, that, and the other. Well, we've been saying to you it's about you people. So what we have here is the perfect example of how some good always thrives out of a bad situation. You just got to go and get it. All right. But any situation can be good or bad, guys. It's how you make it. All right. So, we've got the Central Coast Cream Puffs, or a representative of. And I think we go with that little term, and I don't think Tash is going to mind me using that. But come in, Tash, and meet us. Cazz, you all right? Put Cash in. G'day, Tash. How you going? But yeah, guys, this is Tash, who is part of the little movement up there on the Central Coast with some people. And I'm just excited to see that people have come together, you know what I mean, and started to do their own thing. So Tash, introduce yourself. what you're doing up there. You're obviously up there with Franco and a few others on the Central Coast. But yeah, you guys are starting to go your own way and move it along. So yeah, go the cream puffs, Belinda Repton. Exactly. So give us a wrap down, darling. How are you? What's going on the Central Coast? Fill us in.
All right. Yeah. Good. Thanks for having me on. We're doing really well now. Actually, it's taken a little while for us to get up and going. And I should give a shout out to Rhonda, who's behind the scenes putting all the groundwork together. Yeah. So she couldn't be here tonight, but she puts a lot of the groundwork together. So after sort of leaving that scene, we just grew stronger. Basically, we all kept in touch. And we kept saying, we've got to get a group together, And Rhonda, being persistent as she is, said, let's do it. And the focus is on health within our group, although we still going to make get some of the groundwork done with the actions that we're trying to do now. So working as a smaller group, it's good because we all communicate together. It's a really great group of people now, and we've grown stronger from this. So God works in mysterious ways, as we were just saying.
Yeah.
And so Rhonda organises a social dinner once a month. So that's how we got started after all of this. Yeah.
Cool. And is that at someone's home, or is that out in a restaurant that's MSG free and well picked, with good water and stuff like that, Tash, obviously?
Yeah. We've been going to an Indian restaurant actually who caters for us. And
that'll burn the crap out of you. That'll keep the germs away, won't it? Yeah, you picked the right dish.
But they will do. Yeah, they will do gluten free. It's pretty good. Good variety. Yeah. And that's we've been going there at the moment, but we're growing. So we've pretty much packed out the whole restaurant now. Of course, not everyone can make it every time, but then we've been keeping in touch by email. And then I've just set up like one of those workspaces platforms to try and quickly.
Your community strategies are what, Tash? What do you obviously with Frank, you're at the Governor General's. There's a lot about the children. Obviously, that's what we're all about is the children.
Yeah.
But you target points, councils, children. What are you sort of coming together with the forefront?
Yeah, so the emphasis on health. So we're preparing our small group for, as Rhonda says, a tsunami of truth that's all coming, and just a place for us to go to if we need health tips, staying fit and healthy, and then from there we just branch out now. We've put emergency plans together and first aid kits and that sort of thing. But now we're just branching out to doing all the promotion, like promoting. I've just sent the links out to everyone on our workspace to promote the Stop the Rot website, especially the actions. I think that's a good one for us because even if just a few of us do some of those actions on that page, I think that'll help. Jake's, did you know we've got that on the platform?
Brilliant, man.
Yeah,
how good are them
Mondays
guys?
At Maggie's. Yeah. Just put the Mondays at Maggie's up, so hopefully we can get even just a few of us there.
You've got some very powerful people on the Central Coast. You could really, create something here, Tash. You know what I mean? I really believe you can, because there is a good bunch of good people up there, and you're strong and committed, So let's lead the way.
Yeah, with Jake's flyers, I mean, that's the easiest one for me, especially at my business. Hand them out, QR codes, everything. That's been the easiest way. So Jake's great and his team, and of course Franco. So I've just put that on there. And even
Belinda, Phil, they're all working hard, mate. You know what I mean? I know the little niche groups up there that are actually trying to push it. And so guys, again, this is all part of our community, what we've got to do. And this is a perfect example of what I've been trying to promote, you know what I mean? Not out of where it came from. It was an unfortunate situation. But what it's done here is grown some people closer together to go, okay, well, because we all know there was a bit of restriction, guys. You know what I mean? When you get inside these sort of movements, you can only do this and only do that. And that's sort of where I think people can flourish, you know what I mean? When they can use their own creativity. You got people like Jake who is willing to send brochures anywhere, guys. You'll send them anywhere around Australia as long as you're putting them in a bloody letterbox or getting them out through your business and educating people. He doesn't care. We have you can't thank that guy enough, Jake, about really for what he's done. to supply that stuff for the movement, you know, and out of his own pocket. Like, the guy's an absolute freak. He's a genius. He is. And that's what I mean. You've got the nucleus up there. It's great that you guys have, realised that and understood it, and now move forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It just shows you what you can do, like just in smaller groups. I think that's the trick. Get the smaller groups going and then somehow link together. Because we know something's coming. We just don't know exactly what and when. And I guess not leaving out of fear. This is all based on a positive energy. Yeah, we want to stress that we approach this with a positive energy and team up together, be happy, and but still be prepared. You know, when we say emergency plans and health tips, I mean, if you're in the best physical shape, mental shape, you're going to cope better with whatever comes along.
Exactly right. For sure, Milan. Okay, well, Cazz, you want to comment on anything on that, and then we'll rip into some. You want to hang around for a minute? You're right, Tash, are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. Yeah, I can do.
Let's just get onto some news, because we've got a few clips, a few bits and pieces from Australia at the moment. So I'll get Tasha's comment on it from her perspective.
Has done what he can, creating a makeshift home with a floor, waiting for social housing.
Sick of being in the mud, so you know you end up with sores under your toes. You can't keep them dry.
He's one of dozens of homeless camping at Eddie Highland Park in Launton. Yesterday, rumours of an eviction ahead of the Pine Rivers show caused panic.
They were going to have the police here and the rangers to move us all on in one day.
Today, council teams were out to assist and reassure rough sleepers they're welcome to stay so long as they're tidy and engaging with support services for long-term solutions.
Every time you do try and get somewhere, you get a message saying don't worry about turning up, it's already gone.
We were servicing about 80 people, now we're up to about 107.
Queenslanders spent almost 5,800 nights in emergency accommodation over 3 months in 2022, jumping to 51,000 nights at the start of this year. The government has spent more than $3.5 million on crisis hotel rooms this year alone, promising ambitious new builds in a hot construction market.
1 million new homes and 53,500 new social and affordable homes. Over time, that will mean that we spend less money on emergency accommodation.
All right, now all of that with the immigration. Now also, I think we've got 1 in 35 people in Australia are actually here on student visas. So interesting.
Tash, you seeing that on the Central Coast? You know, you got a nice place if people wanted to be camping up and, you know, being put in that unfortunate situation. What are you seeing on the Central Coast there?
Seeing a little bit. I mean, I went down to Sydney too on the weekend. I'm noticing more there. I feel it's happening more. And you just hear little comments like people saying, you know, if I get kicked out of this rental, I won't be able to get another one because I don't have the funds to put up the bond. Yeah. And these are people who still working hard. We have a new
crisis in Australia. It's the working poor. You've got this situation where this guy, he's a driver and is threatened with an $800 fine for sleeping in his van on the Gold Coast.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's just insanity. You know, they tell you to rest. They tell you to sleep in your car if you're tired. You know, don't be a danger on the road. You pull up, spend the night on the side of the road, and it costs you $800. What a motel you could, or whatever it was. What a motel you could have got for that sort of money.
He's lived and worked in his van for 4.5 years. He's a set designer. But like you've got this new class of citizen in Australia. It's actually the working poor. They're working and they still cannot, like both of them are sometimes working and they still cannot afford to get rentals.
All by design. They're going to keep bringing the immigrants in, the housing, what she was talking about then. That's all a load of crap, guys. There won't be a million houses. They're stopping residential. I've already told you. You know, that's just a load of crap. They'll launder through more money while they're telling you that through the back door off to somewhere else. And, you know, all you're going to see is high-rise and 15-minute cities from here on in, guys. Residential will decrease, right, and the commercial will increase. That's a simple fact.
And it's the councils that are out of control as well. Like if you look at this one, I'll just play a bit of this.
Adam stared at a gaping hole left by a fallen tree outside his house. Sick of looking at it and worried it was a safety issue, he fixed the problem himself. Then council called him in for a chat, and it wasn't to thank him.
I've answered your question, right? I'm going to ask you some questions, or we're going to ask you some questions in relation to some allegations about the illegal deposit of litter on the side of the road out in Frankston. I don't know, there's litter, but okay.
You'd think Adam Marcel was a criminal.
Yeah, I felt like I was a rapist or a murderer.
What's your age and date of birth?
I don't think this guy's relevant.
This is no police interrogation room.
Look, this is my home.
Let me finish.
I live across the road from this place.
Let me finish.
It's a council office.
Answer my questions or don't answer my questions. Let me work out what's relevant and what's not.
And the man asking the questions is a council staffer.
I felt like I was being just interviewed by the police, like the way they videoed me.
This sorry saga began when a tree toppled outside Adam's home in Frankston on the outskirts of Melbourne.
A big gum tree, about 25 metres high, fell over and left a 4 metre hole in the ground, 2 metres deep.
Adam says he reported it to Frankston City Council and the Roads Authority, but nothing was done.
And I've waited 6 months for it to get cleaned up, and nothing was happening. I sort of taken upon myself to go and clean the area up.
Adam's a landscaper and pool builder by trade, so he got to work, clearing litter and trucking in soil to fill in the hole left by the tree.
Used some soil and grass, and I bought native plants just to clean all that up. And then, the council decided I was being a menace, and
we'll leave it there.
Yeah, if you got to go to the website, guys, that's a good one to leave there. Don't mention another thing. Okay, you got to have to go to the website to watch it. That is the stupidity of our councils, guys. They smacked him with a fine. I'm not going to tell you how much. You're going to have to go and look. But yeah, comments, Tash?
Well, if it keeps going, like we were just talking about how people are homeless and everything, how far they're going to push and push and push when people have got nothing to lose. They lose it. Yeah, it's got that, and just that's when the societal breakdown comes, because I know you listened to Cliff too, Caz. I think it was Cliff High that said it'll just get to that point where people are like, why bother going to work? Yeah.
And Cliff High's been basically talking about the breaking of the Narrowdime as well. And you can see it happening because you've got situations like this with this cattle farmer as well.
It's been slapped with a year-long ban at every licensed venue in the state after a boozy run-in with a nightclub bouncer. Carl Ferguson has slammed his punishment as un-Australian, despite the 20-year-old admitting he threw a punch after being refused entry.
He describes himself as a rum-drinking, ute-driving cowboy.
Well, I do get on the piss a lot. We go out to properties, we shoot, we do burnouts, typical 20-year-old stuff.
Kyle Ferguson, a carefree cattle farmer turned TikTok sensation, now slapped with a statewide booze ban.
Hey boys, I have just got a notice saying I'm banned from every alcohol serving establishment here in WA.
Are you going to be able to make a whole year without alcohol?
God, no. I love the square beer, the old sugarcane champagne a little too much to not give that up.
The 20-year-old claims it was his country attire that sparked a war of words with a Northbridge bouncer last month. He was out drinking with mates when he tried entering Paramount nightclub.
So this bloke pulled me off out of the line onto the street and said, "Look, mate, you can't come in here just because you dress like a redneck."
That's when he says the situation turned violent.
This is unfair. And he goes, chucks me wallet and ID across the road, and he goes, "What are you going to do about it?" I threw the first punch, and my fist didn't connect with his face, so I missed completely.
He's been charged with failing to leave a licensed premises when required to do so and fighting in public to cause fear. Carl Ferguson is fighting to have his year-long ban overturned if caught at any
anyway, you'll have to go to the
venue
website to find out whether he beat his ban, guys. But the irony of that is he was picked on because of the way he looked. Are you kidding me? Because he had his hat and his buckle on and he looked like whatever we call them, rednecks, you know what I mean? They love this. What do they call them things they have out there? Them ute bash things, them they all get together. They go out to Deniliquin and they all get their utes.
Muster. The Ute Muster.
Yeah, and like good on them. It's like all of us go and have a surf together. These guys get out, and for a guy to be come into the big smoke, you know what I mean, and then be treated like that. As he said, I threw a punch. I was that pissed I couldn't even hit him. You know what I mean? He didn't even. And here he is. He's out of all establishments for what? And we got pedos on the streets because they're let back out. You know what I mean? And we've got. I don't even want to go there, guys. You know what I mean? People getting NDIS that are murderers getting out of jail, getting NDIS help, and we got people that need NDIS help that can't get it.
And Dave, we've also got this. So Scott Morrison confirms the $500,000 payment was not for Alan Tudge's abuse, which means it had to be for sexual assault complaint against Josh Frydenberg. So that's how many of them now. So you've actually got, they've got the timeline here, but you've got so many now that have actually been accused of sexual assault within the parliament. So are they just basically all compromised? Because that's kind of like what you got to question, isn't it?
Well, what do you think, Tash? I mean, I don't want you to get yourself in trouble and you have the cops knocking on your door at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning because you've been on Stop the Right telling the politicians they're pedophiles. But
yeah, no, I'd never say that. I'd never say that. But, it's looking like it, but we see things, but it just astounds me how the normies just.
But you don't. A quick little story, Tash. I was in the Philippines in 91. We had a place over there in Manila called Harrison Plaza. I got offered a gun in there. I got offered to buy a gun in McDonald's, actually. It was a hilarious handgun. You know what I mean? Like, it's only 100 pesos, like $2.50 American. This guy was going to palm me off a gun, but the thing was I didn't see anything over there. But when I come home, and I learned about all this stuff that was going on. And I'm talking 1991. So 5-6 years ago when I started to wake up, I then had flashbacks to Harrison Plaza in Manila, and I could see the pedos with the kids in the remembrance, but I never saw it as it was happening. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Incredible.
Well, and look, with all this is still going on up in Northern Territory. These videos have been going viral. So this is basically this is from somebody who just watched a mother and her 6 young girls bash my neighbour, waiting for the police. Now another car pulled up and a bloke chased him into his home and smashed all of the back of his house up. All he was trying to do was stop the girls smashing up the house they got evicted from.
So what I would like to see with that clip, guys, is, I was on a space today for a little while I was working on my car and having a listen in, and I got on and had a chat. But the medical cannabis, I'm wondering if somebody can do a state by state thing and work out how many people are on medicinal cannabis, all right? Because this stuff's poison, guys. It is poison, man. It's causing psychosis around. This is what the government wants to do, all right? So they're giving out hooch that'll nail you, all right? So apart from that, so what I'd like to do there is find out, whether the Northern Territory around that area has got a high percentage, you know what I mean, of this stuff getting handed out by the government, because they hand it out for people who are having difficulty. And you don't have to do much to get on it. I know plenty of people that are on it. So all they're doing is smoking a poison and getting worse because this stuff's crazy mad. Now, the other thing we've got out is that down in Adelaide, right, be careful, guys, all right, because I know what everyone does, all right? Okay, I've been young too. Okay, so you go out and you drop a pill on the weekend, or you get a bag and you just go and have some fun and, everything's honky-dory. We'll tell you what, guys, it's already hitting in Adelaide. I was going to do it last week, but I thought I'll leave it. But I've seen more results and more people have been affected. We've had a couple of people die and some people critically ill from this cortisone new drug, right, that is 1,000 times more potent than fentanyl. It's a synthetic opioid, guys, and it's in Australia, all right? And Adelaide seems to be in its first primary target. I know it's in a couple of other cities, but, yeah, they've hit hard down in Adelaide. So, guys, I just want to say you shouldn't be taking them anyway, but that's beside the point. People will do what people do. Be frigging careful out there, all right? This is what they are doing by design, guys. This is what we're coming to. Okay, so I just want everyone to be aware, and especially in Adelaide, around that area at the moment, South Australia, just be very careful about what you're doing, guys, all right? Be very, very careful. But I'd like to see someone actually look into that and see where the high percentage areas are of the government induced psychosis from the actual dope that they're giving people. Anyway, that's a side shoot, but there you go. Got a comment on that one, Tatch? What do you see on about that in the society? Much?
Yeah, that's really interesting because there is some good medical cannabis out there, but it's obviously not being used for the right people in the right situations. And yeah, what are they handing out if it's coming from the government? You wouldn't trust it. And why? Yeah, but I mean, I've seen some of the genuine stuff do some wonders with people who really need it. But I think now it's just anyone can get access to it. What's the dosage they're taking? What exactly are they taking? Yes, it's not monitored in any way. So
just giving out at nilly-willy, mate. You know, unreal. Government's making money. It's all good.
Yeah. And the good guys who make the good stuff, that is good for you. In that,
you go to jail.
All right, so we've got a lot of really interesting stuff happening with the USA at the moment. So first of all, Alex Jones. So first of all, today, Charlie Kirk, he said that he's got a weird lead on a story, and he was basically saying that he thinks that Joe Biden could possibly be already dead. Then we're hearing that he's not going to survive the night. Then, of course, Alex Jones predicted this.
On the 9th of this month, I predicted that on the weekend of the 20th and the 21st, it's 21st today, that Joe Biden would officially resign from the nomination to be the Democrat nominee in 2024 for 2025. I specifically nailed it because I was gauging all the different factors that were involved. It would take 2 hours to go over. That's why we're tomorrow's news today. While the corporate establishment, enemy of the people media, lies to you about what's happening now, we tell you the truth about what's coming next. Now, this is what the globalists are planning now. It may change. And the reason it's important you understand that I know the enemy's operation is that we can change it by listening to what I'm saying and becoming aware of it. I'm going to be covering it all at 4 p.m. Central in just mere minutes at Real Alex Jones on X and Infowars.com/show on Radio.
All right, so now he basically goes on to say that, that he predicted 2 weeks ago, I think it was, last week when the assassination failed on Trump, he said they're going to have to kill Joe Biden because of the stuff that you've got, Dave, which is there's too many things basically out there. Now, there's a couple of really weird things that have surfaced in the meantime, and that is this one here, which is smoke coming out of the White House, which is traditionally used to signal the death of a pope or the election of a new pope. So that's very strange. And we do know that Joe Biden was Catholic. And then you've got this situation here.
What's with the rope hanging from the flag?
Rope. I've never seen rope around the flag.
What's that about?
America is strong.
Well, Joe's been dead for a while.
That's right.
Joe hasn't been with us for a while, so we've only got a few actors playing there. So, again, right. Alex has done well to be able to pick the script writers, passage down the line.
He goes on to say that he thinks his information suggests that it's not Kamala that's going to be running. It's actually going to be Hillary, which is very interesting. Now, also, you've got the whole situation where Marjorie Taylor Greene has bailed up Cheadle, but it's come out that Cheadle, I'll show you that in a minute.
Minutes before the shooting,
they pumped them.
While President Trump has been allowed to take the stage, people see Crooks laying on his stomach in a sniper position on the roof, and they're yelling he has a gun, and they are trying to alert law enforcement and Secret Service. Why was Crooks not shot by the snipers? Why was he allowed to be there?
As soon as the individual was identified as a threat, they were...
No. What do you consider to be a threat? A man with a gun laying in a sniper position, a man that had a backpack, a man that had a bicycle, a man that had a rangefinder. At what point is he determined a threat?
An individual with a backpack is not a threat. An individual with a rangefinder is not a threat.
What about a man laying on a building that has direct line of sight of President Trump with a gun that people are screaming and pointing out? Is that a threat, Ms. Cheadle?
Once that individual was identified, they were neutralized.
No, they were neutralized Crooks was neutralized after he shot President Trump in the face, Miss Cheadle. Is he only a threat once he fires the weapon?
As soon as the counter sniper identified that individual, they were able to neutralize them.
How were people in...
All right, we'll leave that there. But then what's happened in the meantime is that this information has come out about Cheadle. Now, according to data from the CA Club India, Cheadle's net worth stands at $10 million as of 2024, supplemented by the annual salary of $280,000 from the federal government. During her tenure as the head of security at PepsiCo, Cheadle earned an annual salary of $1.2 million, which included bonuses and additional perks such as housing, car allowances, and private jet. So why would she take that job when she had and take a $280,000 base salary when she'd come from 1.2? Nobody ever goes down in base salary. And then on top of that, you actually have this video here where people have actually gone to the building next door and the shooter had a clear view, or so what they're looking at there is this is the building where the Secret Service were held up in, and they've got a clear view, absolutely clear view. So it's just crazy. Everything about this situation is crazy.
It's central casting, guys. But anyway, yeah, it's well, that one there wasn't, you know what I mean? That was obviously something's gone down there, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is just going to get more wild, guys. All right, yeah, Alex is right. They're going to have to do something, and what they're going to do, I don't know. So you follow this side of things, Tash? Yeah, you're obviously up to speed. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. I just love how they can never answer the question. Never answer the question straight. Yeah, if they would, I guess we'd know. Not meant to know.
She's been grilled by 3 different women in there today, man. Absolutely grilled. And she failed every one.
Yeah. Can't get much past, what's the blonde lady's name?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Around the world, just very quickly, we've got this going on in Ireland today.
But the police come down heavy-handed at 4 o'clock this morning, 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning. They told the lads 30 seconds to get out or they're going to get squashed in the place with it. So the lads gathered up their stuff, they moved out of the way, and they came in and destroyed the place. What did they think was going to happen here when they done this? They were told.
When you're saying the lads, do you mean protesters from the area?
Protesters, yeah, local protesters like myself. We've been here nearly 3.5 months. You know what I mean? We don't want it here. We don't want undocumented male migrants here. We don't want them. The community is bad enough as it is. And these know this already. You know what I mean? Their job is going to be harder.
All right, so they're protesting the mass immigration. Now, what's also happened overnight is that an Australian woman has been raped by 5 male. They looked African immigrants in Paris, where they actually are currently have a really massive, not only police presence, but also army presence in the lead up to the Olympic Games.
Olympics, yeah.
That's right. So you've got that situation happening. Now, in New Zealand as well, you've got this situation.
Hi, everyone. It's Linda here from the Health Forum NZ. Today I've just been reviewing a new document that has just been released here in New Zealand. It's the New Zealand Pandemic Plan Interim Update July 2024. I'm going to be doing a series of videos on this very long document, 231 pages long. I just want to tell you at the moment about page 162, and it's talking about vaccination, pandemic vaccine. So on page 162, it states, depending on transmission rates, the severity of the illness, and the efficacy of vaccine in preventing transmission and reducing poor health outcomes, the government may consider imposing restrictions under legislation on people who choose not to accept vaccination in relation to work, access to premises, and other activities.
Isn't that incredible?
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. Now, along with that, you've actually, because it actually all ties in, because this is the these are Bank of England, and they've got 2 jobs advertised in the United Kingdom. One is a lead architect in CBDC program, and the other one is a senior software engineer in central bank digital currency. So like you can see that they're all on the same path. It's all about control. It's always about control because we're the problem, you know.
We are people like Tash running around the community, getting people together. You know what I mean? Franco, Belinda, you know, you're terrible people. You are trying to help your community like you are. I don't know.
We're bad, aren't we? Yeah, just
Yeah.
trying to do something
You
nice.
are very naughty.
Yeah. You're naughty
All
people.
right. Just finally, I really wanted to play this because this guy just really is so succinct. He just gets it.
Straight. The party that's all about defending democracy rigs 2 primaries in a row in 2016 and 2020 against Bernie. Then in 2024, they roll with a corpse as their presidential candidate and forbid anybody from challenging the corpse. And then, when they can no longer gaslight Americans about his condition, they toss him aside like he's a rotting vegetable, and then proceed to rig their 3rd straight primary by nominating a candidate that no one was able or allowed to vote for. So that's what they mean by defending democracy, in case you haven't already noticed. They tell you what to do, and you shut up.
Well, I bet you he shuts up when he takes his Maserati into the service department and they say that's $5,000 for the service. He pays it.
Is that what he was driving?
He's driving a Maserati. You see it on the seat thing, the Trident thing, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, it's not all bad. There is some good news. And guess what that is? In New Zealand, business is booming. 6 feet down under. Isn't this terrible? Like, this is the only business that's booming at the moment. It's the undertakers. So, yeah, it's...
What a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
That's
it.
it. So, I'll let you final words, Tash, and then I'll let Dave wrap up.
Yeah, just speaking about that, that is on our list. You know, I said before not to be all doom and gloom, but we've got a setup in place. Like, we're working on grief counselling. We have holistic counsellors involved. Yeah, people who've worked in that sort of industry with grief. And Franco just reminded me to let everyone know how to get involved if anyone's out there that wants to join us.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say to you. Give yourselves a plug. Where's your channel? What are you doing? You know, go for it.
Yeah, probably best to either contact me if you're on X. The handle is @TashaRun73, so TASHARUN73, or by email tashgallic@gmail.com.
Yeah, well done, mate. Very smart play.
And then I can add them into the group, and they can join us for a dinner and see how they go and join us.
No, that's it. That's how we build the communities, guys.
Yeah. Got a good group of people, different skill sets. So we were working with that too, putting all the skill sets together, and then moving forward.
Well, I'd love you to keep me updated, which you will, obviously. You know, I'm talking to your friends up there all the time anyway. So they're on what you're doing and how you're moving forward and what's working and what's not working. And that's what we need to know so we can get it out, you know. But guys, there's plenty of groups out there, community groups that are doing the same thing. Okay, you know that, right? You got your, you know, and as I said, you know, every community group can't be horrible, guys, all right? Is some of them getting infiltrated? Yeah. But I said, come on. Communities are from my place, communities from TAP. You know what I mean? If they're community people getting together, it's up to your discernment. You're in a war, guys. You need to move into the groups and have a look. You know what I mean? And you need to bring to attention people who you think are a red flag or whatever. But you know what I mean? This is, you know, no one can hold your hand through this, guys. I think we've learnt that. All right. The best thing you have is your own discernment. All right. And your own, you know, judgment of where you want to go and what you want to do and how you want to do it. And, being, you know, dictated to and told what can and can't happen is not a way to build a community. A community must be input, you know, to discuss all options. And then even if this is not an option over here with this guy here, but it works for him and he can do it over there, well, then good on him. You know what I mean? As long as you know what he's doing for the community and other effects. So everyone's got to have their own play, guys. All right. And this is where we got to get to. And I'm just so happy that let's call them the Central Coast cream puffs at the moment. You know what I mean? I'm going to go and buy a profiterole tomorrow. I'm not supposed to have one, but that's a cream puff. I'm going to have one and have a coffee and celebrate for you because that warms my soul to see that out of a bad situation, you know, and something that just no one wanted to happen, but it happened. It was just, you know, the way it happened. But out of that, here we are. We got a group of community people who've gone, right, let's lead ourselves. Let's do it. And they're doing it.
Rhonda's husband can make a healthy cream puff. He brings us healthy recipes to each of our dinners. So maybe he can work on that, a healthy version of a cream puff.
Maybe Guru's got to try and get up the Central Coast for one of them so I can scoff half a dozen of his cream puffs.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
This was being taken out by, it's Tom McDonald's pitch you missed, but it was actually dropped by Trump. So this is the one that was dropped by him.
Tommy Donald, this guy's making so much money, frankly, doesn't know what to do with it. Billions and billions of views. It's a great rapper, believe me, I would know. Frankly, as Trump the Don, I would know. Shout out to Tom. There he is. There he is. They burning the country down with their progressiveness. It started with changing what gender is. They graduated to your basis if you think that your life matters and your skin don't have melanin. They don't want peace, they want skeletons. They want their were fitted by freedom that they just tried killing the president. I used to think that the world were misguided, but now I can see that they're evil. Twitter is angry that I am not dead. You know who got shot? Innocent people. Thought you were tolerant, thought we were equal. I thought you valued how everyone feel. Why are you celebrating an attempted assassination like you're part of Antifa? Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of brave, freedom, afraid of violence. Wish to die, bitch, you missed. We just straight. Going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Try to lock me up in a cage. Now you're trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed. Told us to trust the science, but it never made sense to me. Why would we put all our trust in an enemy? Millions of people, they're hooked on amphetamines. They're making billions on untested remedies. Borders are open to people with felonies. Biden can't stop them. He don't have the energy. You want to kill trying to be there tomorrow like I am John Kennedy? I tried to give you the chance, like maybe the left isn't nuts, I was wrong. Y'all are exactly as crazy as every conservative person I know said you were all of them. When a protest, go hard. When a birth facts, go on. But y'all are so triggered that you're pulling triggers at presidents. Y'all tether wrists when you're armed. Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom and afraid of violence. You wish I was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock me up in a cage. Now you're trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed.
And remember, all white babies are born racist. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Thanks, Tom, for letting me do that video. Make sure you guys support Tom's new record, You Missed, iTunes, Spotify.